Well, hello and welcome to the Tanya Augusta Alchemy community. I'm Tanya Augusta, and thank you for being here. Well, it's so good to have you, and I am here today to share with you stress free and weight free cheer through the holidays. So let's dive into it. I have 7 ways for us to stay stress free and weight free, and this is possible. We're going to talk a lot about it in a short time. So again, I'm Tanya Augusta. I am your alchemy and transformation coach, and I do nutrition coaching. I do Chinese medicine. I'm putting on more of my Chinese medicine and nutrition coaching hat today. And I am wanting to, first of all, with our first way to stay stress free and weight free, I want to talk about balancing yin and yang. Let me explain the yang energy first. So, yang energy is the active energy. It is about doing, it's about movement, it's about creating, it's about giving. And so, of course, as with all things, we want to have this balance in the world and in life. We want to have our yang energy and we want to have the yin energy. So, if we were always doing and going, well, obviously, we know what happens. What that happens, we get really stressed out, which is very common in our culture, right? Our society definitely has more of that imbalance. I think we're moving out of that time, but we're all still, I believe, working on that individually. So, yeah, we want to make sure that we're not constantly doing, giving, having to um, be in this energy of just that pushing and that forcing. Not that it's always pushing and forcing, but it can be, right? And so that yin energy is the energy where it is about allowing, it's about receiving, it's sitting back, it's resting, it is just creating space. It's that feminine energy. So that is, something that we need to cultivate more. And I definitely work with a little bit more women than men. And, in general, I would say that uh, because I do often work with also other entrepreneurs, women business owners, they tend to get a little bit imbalanced being in their masculine a little bit more. So it's definitely something that, but even I see this, not just in entrepreneurs, but just in general, that women take on so many roles, just as the parents that we often are, as the caretakers, and all of the different ways that we take care of the home and the family and our community, and whatever else, our jobs. And so there's a lot. And I'm not trying to leave the guys out here too, because definitely, they need to cultivate that feminine energy. And some men have done a beautiful job of this. So we each need to work on this. And it's just about really quieting and slowing down this time of year. So we're actually in a yin time of year. And it is a little tricky because, of course, with the holidays, we want to be festive. We want to go out and have fun, and that's great. I want us to all do that. But I also want us to just, really think about how do we keep that balance and how can we slow down a little bit more while also having some fun and going out. And so there's going to be some choices that we're going to need to make, right? So I definitely invite you to also look at, if you aren't wanting to take a little bit more time inwards, and why that might be, because oftentimes um, there is a reason that we're kind of fighting against that slowing down. So maybe you could ask yourself, what are you wanting to distract from? What are you hiding from? It's definitely great to be going to parties and things, but we want to have some evenings at home and resting, and some weekends even too, right? So we're going to have to learn how to use our muscle to say no, work on those boundaries. And I definitely have a couple of videos at the end here for you to watch on my um, get different bravery through clear boundaries. And you can check those out as well to help you out. But yeah, we want to keep making space so that we can slow down and go inwards and build that yin. So, the second way to stay stress free and weight free through the holidays is to also, along these same lines, is to figure out what your socializing limit is. And so, if you are an extrovert, obviously you can do a little bit more, but even, introverts can overdo it or ambiverts. So, we all have to really figure out what that may be, and maybe looking at what we've done in the past might be a good gauge, and noticing, oh, I typically do, this many things during this month, and then I end up getting sick. And so we can look at these past patterns to help us to assess this. That we can also just look at, again, just going day by day, but also like what is realistic. Like, if I have more than two parties in a week, could I really do that? Or, if you're an introvert, maybe it's more than two parties in a month, depending on how introverted you are, right? So, yeah, whatever that socializing limit is for you, you're definitely going to want to look at that, work on creating that, and then, um, you know, it's important because when we are constantly distracting, when we're constantly keeping ourselves busy and we're being around other people, we're not, again, taking that yin time and balancing ourselves, then we're going to crave more sugar because we're going to need that energy. And so we're going to easily be like, oh, well, I need that glass of wine or I need that dessert because I'm actually tired. And you know what? This time of year, it's okay if we're a little bit more tired in the evening when it's dark and it's supposed to be like, let's go to bed early, and, just cuddling on the couch and reading a book. And it is definitely something that you have to learn to embrace. And I have worked through that myself over the years. So this is just something that we continue to practice, right? And then along these same notes, so I want to just add in social media, because even though we may not be totally engaging with somebody or someone, it is a way of distracting. And so let's just be more conscious about that, right? Because that is just another way that we can be busy, keeping the mind going, not allowing that yin time, which is really that, again, going inward, being quiet and reflective, um, meditative, whatever that may be for you. So, the third way that we can stay stress free and weight free is to look at our beliefs around the holidays. So, as you're seeing, these are all kind of building on one another. They all kind of are layers of all of these things, right? So, what are some of the things that you believe that, maybe there's a belief that you have to, be the one to always put on the dinner or put on these different parties or to attend all these things or to make all these cookies or whatever it is. So we want to look at that and examine, is this something that's true for me? Does this work for me in my life? And is this something that I actually want to continue? Me, I'm always working with people to try to help you break free from patterns that aren't serving you. And so this is just something to, again, look at. And then also, what are we telling ourselves? Like, oh, I'm going to eat this, but I'm going to gain 5 pounds. Oh, I always gain 15 pounds during the holidays. I mean, if we tell ourselves these things, obviously we're going to create that. So um, it can be a familial belief, or often, again, these are sometimes more of our cultural beliefs of like, well, this is an excuse to overeat and to gain weight. And that doesn't have to be the reality for you. If it's something you want to choose to continue, you can. But this is an opportunity for us to make that shift if that is feeling aligned for you. And there's always these little small habits that we can change that really make a difference. So I hope that you're just taking away whatever here today lands for you and that helps you best. So, and again, also, if we're worrying about what we're eating, if we're like, oh my gosh, I just ate all this stuff, and then just overthinking, like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that, and just having less guilt, and just, again, this worry and these feelings of dread and fear, and like, oh my God, I just cannot stand to think of what's going to happen the next time I weigh myself. Well, that again is going to impede our digestion, and that is really, going to also add to this whole equation. So we really want to make sure that we're just enjoying something. If you want to have that piece of dessert, have that piece of pumpkin pie and just really savor each bite and eat it slowly. By the way, I have a blog for you after this, so or in the link below. So check that out because that has got more of those nutrition tips on how to stay weight free. I'm kind of talking a little bit more about lifestyle, but had to include a few things. And again, these are all layers. So the fourth thing that I want you to do to stay stress free and weight free is to get an accountability buddy. Because again, we're creating some new habits, but I think this is going to be really great because I want you to not only have somebody that is wanting to make some changes and to also not get stressed out, hopefully not gain any weight or maybe only a couple pounds, right? At the most. And then, but what you're going to do is you're going to find an accountability buddy that is going to be your humor buddy. Because what happens is that when we are being exposed to humor, when we're laughing, when we're having fun, we actually lower our blood sugars. So this is a really healthy thing. And also, as we all know, sugar is very addictive, and we may be having more cravings for it, and of course, more opportunities to eat it, and all these things, right? So we'll probably have a little bit, right? But we don't want to start like being like, oh my gosh, okay, well, I had some and now I'm letting myself have more and more. And, just again, we need to work on, what are we going to allow ourselves? And then with this with this accountability buddy, what's really cool is that you guys could send each other, for example, like some funny, humorous videos back and forth. And when you're finding something and you're getting ready to send it to your friend, you actually get a dopamine hit every time that you're anticipating that your friend's going to laugh. So, maybe you're not sending funny videos, maybe it's something else. However, whatever your tickles your funny bone, right? But and then when they, send something to you, you are, again, you're laughing, you're getting that pleasure. So you get that extra dopamine hit, which will help you to mitigate those cravings. And so this is just a really great way to not only get that support, but also, again, lower the blood sugar, get those dopamine hits without actually eating the sugar. So then the fifth way that I want you to stay stress free and weight free is to work on getting to bed at a earlier time or getting enough sleep. So I would definitely recommend getting to bed no later than 11. And I mean like asleep no later than 11. And the reason is that 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is gallbladder time, and gallbladder works with the liver. If you work with me, we talk about the liver and the gallbladder quite a bit. These are the organs that are really detoxing. They're helping release all these toxins from the body. So they do a lot of work and they do all their heavy lifting while we are sleeping. And then liver time is from 1 to 3 a.m. So we really want to make sure that we're getting really beautiful, restful, nourishing sleep, definitely during those hours. But, definitely I invite you to start also getting into a routine where an hour before bed, you're starting to do something calming. I definitely also recommend doing something off of your computer or off of your device, whether that's your tablet, your phone, because we are being exposed to these EMFs. This radiation can be and is hard on the body, and it also disrupts our sleep. So even though you may like to read on your phone or device, I would definitely recommend trying to pick up, an actual book if that's what you like to do to relax, or, maybe there's something else that you enjoy doing in the evening in that last hour that could be, again, off of screens and just to help you to unwind. So that's going to be really helpful. And then the sixth tip I have is to feel your feelings. So this is going to help you to stay stress free and weight free, because if we're repressing our emotions, then we're holding on to them, we actually are going to usually stress eat or emotional eat. And when we do that, we tend to go for whatever that is that tends to usually have sugar or chocolate in it, right? Or whatever that junk food is for you that you crave. Obviously, it's different for everybody, but could be some other processed food. So we just want to make sure that we're staying away from that by actually feeling our feelings. So if those feelings are coming up, let's again cultivate that space, go inward, take that time. Sometimes again we may have to be like at the last minute, like, sorry, I'm not actually going to make the party. I'm not feeling up to it. I've got to honor my body. I'm feeling sad. I've got to move through some grief or whatever it is. So, and maybe sometimes we can cultivate that space for, a good 15 minutes and then everything, we move through it and then actually we get to move on and we can go to that party or, whatever we're doing later in the day or evening. So, it's just important to stop and allow those feelings to be felt and process them in whatever way feels good to you, journaling, talking with a friend, all of those great things. Then the last thing I want you to do to help you stay stress free and weight free, this is my seventh tip, is to exercise and do something you love, whatever kind of movement that is. So I, of course, always talk about going outside a lot. I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful time of year to bundle up really good and then just get some fresh air on your get that sunshine on your face, get that D3 on the skin. But if you love to dance, then do that. If you love to ride your stationary bike, because that's just what helps you work up a good sweat and works with your schedule and timing and feels good, then whatever it is for you, I want you to do that. And uh, basically, when we're getting our movement in, we're gonna feel better. We're gonna keep that stress down, and of course, if we overdo the desserts too, if we get in two extra 60-minute cardio sessions within a week, then we can also let go of that extra weight from those extra desserts. So that's just another side tip. But even when we're doing like a 15 or 30-minute workout, that can be really effective and great. And of course, I always love mindful movements such as yoga, tai chi, and qigong, and highly recommend all of those. So I might want to consider that. So I hope this has helped you. I would love to hear in the comments what you learned or what you're taking away, what you are going to apply to your life, and keep me posted too. Hope this really helps. And if you have a friend you want to pass this along to, a family member to help them, the more the merrier. So I really do wish you all a stress free holiday, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.